Welcome to Serving Locally with me, your host, Michelle Dinas, a podcast where we spotlight service in the Longmont and surrounding communities. All right, let's connect. Hi, welcome to this episode of Serving Locally with me. I am here with Jennifer Seybold with the Veterans Community Project of Longmont, or VCP. We might refer to it as just that is how I kind of know it too. So who are you and what is the Veteran Community Project, and like a quick overview?
Yeah, well, my name is Jennifer Seybold. I am the Executive Director of Veterans Community Project of Longmont. I personally have been in nonprofit work for many years. I've been doing specifically work with individuals experiencing homelessness for about the last 10 years of my career. I'm a longtime Longmont resident, so I was really thrilled to see something coming here because I've been doing the whole drive down to Denver and do work that way. But I've been hearing rumblings of Veterans Community Project for a few years and was excited to see it starting to come to fruition. So I'm relatively new with the organization. I started in May of last year, and I came on at a really exciting time in Longmont because there's so much happening. So Veterans Community Project, in a nutshell, our mission statement really boils it down. We are veterans housing veterans armed with the strength and support of the community. So really, it's all about housing veterans through our tiny homes and through our outreach work and serving any veteran in need in our community through walk-in services. And really, that can be anything from, I just don't know how to get paperwork and I could use some help navigating my VA services, all the way up to I've been experiencing chronic homelessness and really need some more support and help to get back on my feet. So we kind of do the whole gamut of things. The Village has been a project that has been a long time coming, but we are looking forward to actually opening the Village later this year, and we're just excited to add that layer of our work. We've already been serving veterans here in Longmont since 2020 through our outreach center and a mobile outreach unit that we added in August that allows us to go more rurally. And really, it's just serving veterans with whatever they need in this community. And we serve northern Colorado, so not just Longmont, but kind of the surrounding region as well.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Everything that you guys do. And I learn more and more about the little things that you guys are doing, and it's so cool.
Yeah.
So what is your focus then at VCP?
Yeah, I mean, our focus is really to fill the gaps that are not being filled by other organizations. So I think there's a large assumption that veteran organizations exist and are serving all of our veterans in need. The VA is supporting everybody. And the reality is that's just not true. And the VA does incredibly good work, and they're an awesome organization, but not everybody is receiving those services, and not everybody is eligible to receive those services. So VCP exists to fill the gaps and make sure that we can serve all veterans. So the big thing that I always like to mention and just highlight is that we do not disqualify anyone for services based on their discharge status or their length of service or type of service. We serve any and all veterans who walk in and need support. So it's just really about filling those gaps. We don't reinvent the wheel either. We work with other organizations, and that's that whole community piece of what we do. We partner with other organizations. We're not experts in everything, and we don't need to be. There's great organizations helping do things in mental health and physical health and food services. And so we connect with a lot of partners. At the end of last year, we had formed about 90 local partnerships that we connect veterans to. Mm-hmm. And so our work is really having a case manager that holds the individual accountable, helps them make a plan, and then provides them the resources. And they do more than just say, stop into the food bank and pick food up. We know somebody there. We connect them directly with someone we know so that it's not this intimidating thing. It's a really easy, soft connection that makes it a lot more comfortable for individuals too.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of what we're doing here too,
Yeah.
is just put a face with something,
Right.
and that helps so much with just the connecting with it and being able to just do it. Awesome. So, what makes the work of the Veterans Community Project different than other veteran serving organizations?
Yeah, I think we're just nimble and creative. I mean, that's the best way I would say. And again, going back to that partnership piece. So, one, like, we will look at whatever an individual is facing and we will try to solve it in any way that we can. I think that it's kind of in the heart of who we are. We were founded by 4 combat veterans that came together and saw their brothers and sisters struggling when they came back home. And they were just sort of putting together some support by providing food or a hotel. And, really they came together and said, we want to do more. And how do we do that? So that's sort of where the idea came from. But I think what remains really true about our organization is that we still operate like a small organization, even though we've significantly grown over the last several years. And we now have more than 60 employees across the United States. And we're in 6 different cities and 5 different states. We still hold really true to our roots, which is just being creative and nimble and finding whatever solutions we can. And that does mean working really closely with community members, not just other service organizations, but individuals who live in our community who are willing to help. A lot of the work that we do at the Outreach Center, we're already housing folks, and that's something I always like to touch on too. We've been doing outreach work since 2020, and since that time, we've housed 61 veterans before we even have a village to house
Yeah.
people in. So that is really a testament to the community coming together. And, I will just say our case managers are great at working with individuals in our community. People want to help. We live in a really Longmont's an awesome, welcome community that just wants to do what they can to support veterans too. So a lot of it has been like working with landlords and getting them to sort of understand why somebody on paper might not look like a great fit, but why this individual deserves a second chance and how our organization can help provide the additional support to ensure that they can be more successful in that second chance. So I think that's very different than a lot of other organizations. We kind of hold true to this grassroots piece, even though we're a vibrant and growing organization.
Where did it start? Did it start here?
No, it started in Kansas City.
Kansas City.
So that was where our first site was. And in 2016, VCP Kansas City built 49 tiny homes there. And that's been, honestly, it was so successful that word spread really rapidly about the work that they were doing. Was one of the most amazing stories I hear is, we built there in an area that was a part of town that was not as desirable to live in. It wasn't necessarily high on anybody's realty market or anything. And the really amazing thing is that after VCP built there and put together that community, the property value went up, and it's this really vibrant and amazing community. So that's one of the stories I think is really inspiring and incredible. And it's one of the reasons I think people were drawn to it. I've worked in homelessness for many, many years, and the reason I was drawn to it is the incredible success rate that VCP has. So they are seeing a success rate of 85%, which means that individuals who are transitioning from the village into housing, they're getting into permanent housing, and they're not only getting into that permanent housing, they're staying stably housed. And we follow up with them for a year after they leave. And so they're maintaining that stable housing. And that's an incredible thing. Most organizations nationally are seeing a success rate that's about half that. So I think there was just a demand all over to solve the veteran homelessness issue in communities. And this was obviously a way that was being really effective. It was something that people looked at as a model that could potentially translate to other communities. Longmont was the first expansion site out of Kansas City, which is really exciting. I don't think that they ever really thought it would grow outside of Kansas City. There wasn't an initial vision around that. But the city of Longmont their city council had put together an initiative to really solve the issue of veteran homelessness specifically. And they sent some folks out to look at what are people doing around the country, what's working, what can we potentially bring back to our community. And Kevin Molshine, who was a part of that group, along with Bonnie Finley, those two are still very involved in our organization. They're on our board and they're actively involved. I actually just came from a build site, and Bonnie Finley has a group of her friends out today building homes. There are 35 people out there swinging hammers, so she
Awesome.
remains really connected. But, you know, Kevin went around and looked at these different models, and when he came to Kansas City, he was just blown away, which I think is most people's reaction when they go there and see what's happening. I know for me, it was really moving. And he came back here and said, "Hey, I think I have a real idea of something that could work in our community." And the city of Longmont was really thrilled about it. Even further, Kevin put his money where his mouth is. He donated our land to us, and he donated upgraded land to us, so all the infrastructure is there. It's 2.4 acres that VCP is building on. He also gave some land to Habitat for Humanity, so we have 8 Habitat for Humanity units on the western side of our village that'll be up and running very soon. And it's a part of a much larger development. So Kevin is a local developer. This is going to be a part of a development that includes more than 400 homes, ranging in value from, you know, the high 200,000s all the way up to $900,000. So it's a pretty high-end community. Has a very amazing community center. There will be parks, and our veterans will have access to all of the amenities of that community as well. The city of Longmont was really supportive. They waived a lot of the fees and expenses and things to help us move forward faster. They gave this to Kevin as kind of his affordable housing. So in the city of Longmont, 12% of all developments have to be affordable, and this is meeting that requirement in this community. And I think really, like, all of us are excited about a model like this, putting, you know, unhoused veterans in a community that is a very high-end living community, and having the community welcome that and be excited about it. We don't know of any place in the U.S. that's happening but here.
Yeah, I've never heard of
yeah.
anything anything even close to what you
Yeah.
guys are doing. And so talking, if you were a veteran and you needed, like, what would be the steps that they would need to do to, and then what happens after they get accepted or get involved?
So all of our work starts at the outreach center, and we have walk-in hours 3 days a week that people can just walk in, and that's available to them to just fill out intake paperwork or talk to somebody. You can also make an appointment there with any of our case managers throughout the week, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. And really everything starts there. We ask the individual to fill out paperwork that gives us a sense of where they are and what their needs are. If there's somebody we can house faster than putting them in the village, we're going to do that. And I think that's the work that our case managers are already doing. So if it's someone that, you know, realistically, maybe a month and they could be housed permanently, it's probably not going to be a great fit for the village. We're going to go ahead and maybe put them up in a hotel for a little bit and then get them housed permanently, because the village is transitional housing. So people can stay there for up to 2 years, but it's not permanent housing. And all of our work is geared to getting people into permanent, long-term, stable housing. So someone who's going to be a better fit for the village is somebody who has probably got a lot more things to work through. So it's not going to be someone who could be housed pretty quickly. It's going to be an individual that's maybe dealing with longstanding health conditions that have been ignored, really had chronic homelessness challenges, or is going to have to really work on stability of their finances. And it's just going to take more time than we have to get them housed quickly. So that they're going to be a stronger fit for the village, where they will live and work with a case manager once a week that is on site. So in the middle of our community, there is a 3,000 square foot community center. We have our case managers housed out of there. There will be 3 on-site case managers. We strive for an 8-to-1 ratio so people can have much deeper impact, and making sure that they're not overwhelmed with caseloads, that they're not able to really track what's going on with this individual. And I think that's a key part of the success too. So it's really an incredible thing. I know a lot of case managers juggle 40, 50 people, and we want to make sure we keep that number low enough that they can have deeper impact.
That is awesome. That's paying attention to those fine details is really what matters to people the most, to helping them recover and get back to life.
Yeah, and they build really
close.
close relationships with those case managers, and they're really working on holding them accountable, but also being there to help them along the way, and making sure that they have the support that they need.
Can anybody volunteer and help? And what would you say is your greatest need, I guess, is what I really need to ask is, what would be your greatest needs at this point in time?
Yeah, so we are building the village right now, and a lot of people don't know this. We actually rely on volunteer support to build our tiny homes.
100%.
Yeah. So the majority of them are built by volunteers. There's some specialized work that we pay people for because it's, work we need professionals doing, electrical wiring,
Right.
things like that. But for the most part, people can come out and build, and there's absolutely no construction experience required. I can do it. You
I've
guys
done it.
can do it.
We've done it.
Yeah.
Mom and Dad have done it twice.
Yeah,
and
and
I've gone out, and once it gets warmer, I plan on being out there more,
Yeah.
but it's been too cold.
So there, we have some build days that are listed. They're actually going fast. I will say I think we only have a handful left. They're
Oh, wow.
almost filled up. So there's some general public days that if you just wanted to join the general group, you could come out. But we also have days that are dedicated to corporations that come out and bring their employees and things like that. So that's a huge need. It's winding down, which is, I think that's an important place for us to pause and say, we also have a lot of ongoing needs. While the build is a really important one, it is one that, eventually we won't have that need anymore and we'll have a fully completed village. So we always need help at our outreach center, stuffing the pantry, organizing through things and building out welcome home baskets. The welcome home baskets, for those veterans that we work with that we do house, they get a nice package of items to kind of start out that includes some kitchen supplies and some basic hygiene products and things like that. And that goes to those individuals even that we're housing through the outreach center. Those that are housed in the village will take everything from their tiny home with them.
Mm-hmm.
So they also kind of get that starter package, and that includes all their furniture and even down to the appliances if they wanted to.
Right. So when they transition into their own apartment or something, they're not just in an empty room.
Absolutely, because housing is one thing, but it having a home is an entirely different thing. So we build those welcome home baskets all the time and that's done by volunteers who put those together and who do drives. Third-party events are always really helpful for helping us spread the word and raising valuable funds. We don't take any restricted funding of any kind. So because it's an integral part of our program to serve all veterans, we don't take any funding that would restrict us to only serving honorably discharged veterans. So that really means that we have to raise a lot more dollars, a lot more creatively. So, financial support is always a really important piece. When the village opens, there will be ongoing needs for support there for anything from, landscaping work to helping to serve coffee at a coffee hour community with the veterans who are just spending time together or helping with a holiday event. There's just honestly endless opportunities. And the other thing that I'm really excited about is our community center on site has a room that is really dedicated to community connection of all kinds. So we say we like veterans to connect among each other in that community, but we also want them to connect outside to their larger community because the goal is for them to then move into permanent housing and be a larger part of the Longmont community. And so it's really important for people to come in and do things. Kansas City does some really neat stuff in their community center, and I think ours will be really driven by what the veterans here want to see there. But I mean, they do anything from they have an art therapist who comes in and does art therapy classes to yoga classes to resume building. And all of those things are done by people in the community who maybe you're an expert in financial planning and you want to teach a financial planning class. We are open to all of those things, and we love it when people come to us with ideas about that too.
That's awesome. It's so cool. Just what you guys do. It blows me away. I love it. Veterans Community Project has a model for serving veterans that has been highly successful in replication to other cities. But your site also takes a lot of the local challenges into consideration when you come to a city. In what ways has the Veterans Community Project of Longmont added to the traditional service of VCP and adapted to the local needs of our veteran community?
Yeah, I think this is, again, it comes down to us being really nimble and solving the challenges at hand. So Kansas City is a different city than Longmont. They have a really good transit system. It's a bigger city than we are too. Colorado is still very rural in a lot of senses. We have some big pocket cities like Denver that are highly populated, but the large majority of our state, 78% of it, is very rural.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the challenges we were seeing when we came here was just having people be able to get to our services. I know we say we serve northern Colorado, that includes a lot of counties and a lot of places that are not well connected for public transit for individuals who don't have their own transportation. So one of the things that we added here is a mobile outreach unit. We added that to our programming in August of last year. So that's a van that is fully ADA compliant. We take it out to different communities across northern Colorado, and we bring services to veterans where they are. So we partner again with those other community organizations that are serving people, and we let them know what days we're coming. We kind of have a built-out schedule for that. They try to get as many veterans in need there for us, so it's a really collaborative effort. And then we get them connected to case management support at VCP, but we also look at, where are you located and what's in your area that we can help you get connected to. And that's been one of the really key things. That is a very unique to Colorado thing, and it's something that we adapted here. And we have other cities that will likely have their own adaptations too, but that's been a very important one for this area.
I did not know about the mobile one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not know about that. So that's really cool. All right. How can people contact and find out more about the veterans? Why can I not say that today? I say it all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
It's this, having this in
Exactly.
front of you.
It's the worst. That and that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How can people contact and find out more about the Veterans Community Project?
Yeah, so we are located right here on Main Street. We're at 1228 Main Street. They can visit our website, which is veteranscommunityproject.org, but you can actually just type vcp.org, and that will tell you, it will not only show you everything we're doing across the country, but there is a button click down there for you to take a look at everything we're doing here locally. It has everything from, some basic needs that we need here to volunteer opportunities and all the other ways that you can get involved. So that's a great place to start. They can also, just reach out to our office via phone and give us a call there. Or they can email info@vcp.org if they just have sort of a general question that they want answered. And we are also on all the social media channels, so you can check out our Facebook page or Instagram pages.
Or my page, because I repost everything that I see that
I
comes
appreciate
up.
that. Thank you.
I repost it on Instagram and Facebook because I think it is just outstanding.
Yeah.
And that you do go into those details to get them not just help now, but help to get them going.
Yeah.
In the rest of their life and skills, and that's just great because we owe so much to veterans, and I'm so thankful for the veterans. I actually have just a quick little story about veterans. So growing up, my dad, who is behind the camera here, he had us. Well, he didn't have us, but when he would see somebody that wore their cap, veterans of whatever it was that they're saying they were a veteran, he would go up, shake their hand, and say thank you for your service. And so that really stuck with me. So I've been doing that. And my son, when we were at an event, and he was with a friend of ours walking around, and he saw a gentleman with his cap on, went over to him and said, "Thank you for your service, sir," and walked off. And that man tracked him down, gave him $5, and said, "Thank you. Nobody has ever thanked me before."
Wow.
And that just struck me. And he was like, because I was looking in his bag. I'm like, "Where'd you get $5, kid? Like, what's going on?" And he's like, and he told me the story. And my son, like, he was just like, he didn't know what to do because he was just like, I didn't do it for that. He appreciates that. And because, we have family members that are veterans and stuff. And so it's just little things like that even make a big difference just to thank them because we owe them a lot.
Yeah, and I think I don't you touch on I mean, I think most of us have a family member or a close friend that has served. So all of us have that really personal connection. And our staff is a mix of individuals who are civilians and those who've served as well. But all of us have been in some way impacted by a veteran that raised their hand to basically do everything up to giving their life to serve our country. So it is a
Absolutely.
really that's it's I'm glad that your son has taken that on. But yeah, I think and the other thing too is veterans are really proud people. It's often hard for them to ask for help, and
Absolutely.
we all need help. So it's great to be in an organization that makes that easy and makes it feel like a natural part of their connection to the community, and it helps them to not only reconnect with other veterans in our community, but to just be a part of the entire community and be connected to Longmont. So.
I'm glad you said that because I was going to ask you, is it just veterans helping veterans? But it's a lot of veterans because they see the value
Yeah, we
in
do have a lot of
helping.
veterans on staff, and people ask that a lot. I think that second part is also equally as important, though, and that's that armed with the strength and support of the community piece. It really doesn't work if the entire community is not invested, and that's a question we get a lot too. Is how do you decide what city to go to? And I had my questions about that too. How did VCP end up in Longmont of all
Right, of all
places,
places.
right? But I think when you look at the history of what's happened here, that the city demand and their support, and then people who locally said, "I'm going to help fund this." That's what we look for in a city. It's not necessarily just strictly location. I think there has to be a need and a way for veterans to connect to services nearby. But in large part, it's where does the community support that, and where can we make sure that our veterans have the community support and the resources that they're going to need to get back up on their feet.
That's awesome. It's just awesome. I do. You guys are like the top of my list. It's just great. It's just great. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Maybe that I missed asking you, or that you just feel that you need to share?
Yeah, I mean, I would honestly, I just want to, first of all, thank you for giving us the opportunity to do this. I think this is a large part of our success too, is just people like you who let us share what we're doing in the community, because the more people who know about it, the more successful we can be. So that continues to be a really key part of our success and our work. And so I just appreciate this platform
Thank
and
you.
allowing me to speak to everybody out there who can help us continue to spread the word.
That's
So thank
awesome.
you.
So there's what's a way that somebody can just get involved in volunteering or serving right now that would be like simple, fast,
Yeah,
easy.
I mean, the easiest way to get involved in volunteering is just to go onto our website and click the volunteer button and sign up. And it'll ask you a few questions about your interests and what kinds of things you're interested in helping out. It'll also ask you a little bit about your background, because the reality is sometimes we have weird needs that come up, and if we know that someone in our community is an expert in this area and we have a need, we'll try to partner with them to figure out what that means. So there's some standard kind of things listed there now, and people can go check out what those opportunities are. They're very specific time slots, days of the week with duties. But the other way is just to kind of tell us a little bit about yourself, and if you're interested in doing some of these out of the box things, we try to come up with ideas and get creative, especially when we have experts in our community who are willing to do that.
Is there things that you need that people could purchase to bring in, or just to
Yeah.
where can they donate money or
Yeah,
find out what to donate?
I mean, we're doing a drive right now, and I know you guys put together some stuff for us. I mean, some of the things that we consistently need in our outreach center is non-perishable food items, and we have a list on our social media channels that people can check out. We have an Amazon wish list as well that just we kind of put our top needs all the way up to the top. We sort it that way, so when you open it, those things that are listed at the top are the things we need the most of.
Okay.
But just, non-perishable food items, pastas, canned goods. We also do hygiene bags for people and those welcome home kits. So, shampoos, sunscreens as the weather starts to get warmer. Those are always
Are
really
you looking for
important.
full size or travel size or both?
Both.
Just
The full
everything.
size for those who are in the welcome home kits, we put the full size for people who
Okay.
are transitioning to a house or an apartment. And then the travel sizes are really good for us to have when we're doing street outreach. So something easy that we can put in a bag for people to carry because they, aren't going to want to carry around those larger items.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
No, that's great. Okay. Anything else?
I would just go to vcp.org and check it out. There's lots of information there. We have some great videos for people to just learn a little bit more. And if you're interested in donating, there's a donate button there. There's also an easy way to give monthly. And that's, seems like it doesn't do a whole lot, but when a lot of people come together and make that $25 gift a month, it really adds up and allows us to do our work.
1,000 people giving
Yeah.
$1 a day is $1,000
Yeah,
a day.
it makes a tremendous difference. And it's been a really huge effort and taken a lot of energy and dollars to build the village, but we also have an ongoing need. That one-on-one case management work and all the stuff that we're doing, that takes resources too. And so our annual budget is pretty significant. It's about $1.5 million to make this happen every year, and that doesn't happen without really generous people in our community saying, okay, how can I help out? So,
and there is that here in Longmont.
Yeah, there absolutely
there's
is.
so much help and so many people that want to help. And
Yeah.
so we just want to
It's a great
connect everybody
community.
together. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jennifer. I appreciate you taking the time and coming out today and explaining all of this for us, because I know I'm excited about the project and the tiny homes. And yeah, so thank you very much.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. It's been fun.
Good. Thanks. Thank you to my guests, my listeners, and my supporters. Serving together, we can strengthen our community. Please like and subscribe. Do all those other things. You got to do them, because that's the easiest way that you can serve right now. All right, now go. Connect with others and be a blessing.